All right, there we are. Hi, my name is Candace, and I'm here to do a presentation about WIC and motivation. All of us work for WIC, um, but there are times when we need a little bit of motivation to do better. I think we are one of the better uh, agencies and one of the better clinics with the amount of caseload we have, but we do well with it, but we can always do better. And this presentation is here to help with just maybe to take us up a notch. So, WIC and motivation. So, WIC stands for Women, Infants, Children, and the mission is to assist eligible women, infants, and children to achieve improved nutrition and health status by providing nutrition education, selected supplemental foods, and health referrals in a caring and supporting environment. So we're located in Maryland, Maryland WIC, Better Nutrition, Brighter Future. And at WIC, we definitely, the W is for women. So we've got women pregnant moms, women postpartum that are breastfeeding and not. And then we've got breastfeeding babies. Um, and then we like to weigh the babies and see how long, see how they're growing, as well as our children, see how they're growing. Um, and that's what we do. People are our passion. We take care of the women and the families that come into WIC. So now this is the WIC team. Our team is consists of 14 women, one manager who's a registered dietitian, three nutritionists or CPAs, five nutrition assistant or CPPAs, CPA competent professional authority, and then CPPA is competent paraprofessional authority. One breastfeeding managers, two breastfeeding peer counselors, and two support persons. And actually, the one of the support persons and the breastfeeding peer counselors are also nutrition assistants, so they can jump in sometime and help within the clinic outside of what they do with breastfeeding and support. So, who needs motivation? The moms or HOH. HOH is um, head of household because that can be a dad, that can be a grandparent, that can be a foster mom or dad or foster parent. So they need motivation in helping children, care for children with low hemoglobin, underweight, prematurity, GERD, allergies, any issue that they may have. And then we have our postpartum women. And the postpartum women, they may have troubles with breastfeeding, complications, milk production, latch, soreness. I was a breastfeeding mom and I was on WIC. My daughter's 18 now, but so I understand what they're going through. Even though it was about, like I said, 18 years ago, I still understand the struggles of a breastfeeding mom. It can be very difficult, and then that support is what is needed, especially if they don't have the support from their family. Um, and also the staff, we need motivation. We are supposed to reach a 97% participant rate. We're supposed to be giving good customer service and promote breastfeeding. And sometimes um, we have our good days and we have our bad days, mostly good days. But again, we always need to be motivated as well. So again, the moms, the parents, the women, and the staff all need motivation. And so, how do we motivate? Um, the motivation tool that I want to introduce to you is self-determination theory. It's a theory that examines how motivation differs based on an individual's experiences and perceptions. And that's pretty self-explanatory. We're motivated by different things. Um, just like, depending on your age, a baby's motivated by food and sleep. And, parents are motivated by probably food and sleep as well, but they want to take care of their children. Um, but maybe a teenager is motivated by likes on Facebook. So it's just all about what's motivating you. So self-determination theory is a three-part theory. It includes cognitive evaluation theory, organismic integration theory, and the basic needs theory. So first I'm going to start with the cognitive evaluation theory. And this stems from a study of intrinsic motivation and the effects of rewards. Will gifts or prizes impede self-determination? Is there an undermining effect? So basically, WIC gives out a lot of different things, a formula. It's a lot of services, but we want to make sure that our clients are coming to WIC or getting the most out of WIC, not just not just the things that they need to, not just the things that they need to take home, like formula or what else do we do? Formula, breastfeeding services, all that. So there's three parts to the cognitive evaluation theory in the clinic. It's a motivation without intention, intrinsic motivation, motivated with the outcome in mind, and a motivation, extrinsic motivation, and intrinsic. They sound a lot alike, so you hear me stumble over them a little bit, but a motivation without intention, extrinsic motivation, motivated with the outcome in mind, intrinsic motivation. Like in intrinsic and extrinsic, you should understand it. I'm an extrovert. It comes from I'm motivated from things outside of me, and people that are introverted are motivated within. Next. All right, so then there is the organismic integration theory, and that contains 6 regulatory styles. So again, at the top, a motivation, extrinsic motivation, and intrinsic motivation. So a motivation, non-regulation. I mean, it's whatever. So it's not really regulated. And then extrinsic motivation is external regulation, is regulated externally, is regulated, it's called introjected regulation. And then we have identified regulation, integrated regulation. So that's kind of, as you can see, it's kind of a spectrum. So the external regulation all the way to the integrated regulation is going towards more inside, or is going towards being motivated from something within. External regulation is all the way out, something outside of you, and then all the way down to intrinsic motivation. It's a little more internal. So I'll explain that a little bit more. So again, intrinsic motivation is regulated intrinsically, or it's intrinsic regulation. So a motivation, non-regulation, it's impersonal, no objective. It is what it is, blah. External regulation, external stresses, gifts, penalties. In other words, you're doing it because you're getting a gift. And that's what I'm saying with WIC. Like, do people come to WIC because they get gifts, or they get formula, or do they come to WIC for the nutrition? So a lot of people, there's different motivations to come to WIC. But sometimes it could be gifts, or it's just a penalty if you don't, or like if you don't go to a meeting, you'll get in trouble. Then introjected regulation, somewhat external, compliments, shames, or likes. So I'm going to dress appropriately for work so that people compliment me, or I'm going to dress appropriately for work so that people don't look at me funny. Um, it's not necessarily a reward, but it's just kind of, like I said, it's somewhat external. It's based off of what people may think of you. Um, it's based off of what someone may think of you or what you want people to think of you. Then we have identified regulation, somewhat external, respectable, or somewhat external, or a respectable objective. Um, some kind of goal that is coming from within, but it's still, you may not have done it if it wasn't for this goal. And then you have integrated regulation. So integrated, think within, woven within, kind of like your fiber, the fiber of your being or soul. So we have internal worth found within. So it's very internal. It's not all the way to intrinsic, all the way internal, but it is more internal than external regulation. And then we have, again, intrinsic motivation, intrinsic regulation, and that is very internal. That's like passion, experience, pleasure, enjoyment. You're just doing it for, there's no need for any kind of stimulus. You just want to do it. It's very automatic. And I did mention the undermining effect earlier of the things that WIC does. So we provide formula. So formula was a big one. And then the cheese, juices, baby foods. Those are some of the things that WIC gives. But is there undermining effect? Like, some people just come for the formula. I've had some people say, "Oh, I didn't even know y'all did anything besides formula," or that's all they know of WIC, or all we know of. Excuse me. We'll say, "What do you know about WIC?" And they say, "Milk and cheese." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about." But it's up to us to motivate people to come to WIC, not just for these items. So because we don't want to undermine the program, and we don't want to undermine their motivation to actually get involved in the program. So motivation, again, non-regulation, no objective, impersonal, lack of volition, going through the motions. As you can see, this lady, she is, her face, she looks like, I don't want to be here. This other young lady is zoned out. They're just here because they have to be. They're not even, these people are, having a good time and enjoying, but they're like, whatever, I don't want to be here. And that could be, with WIC, an uninterested parent. Some parents, I mean, stereotypically, it could be a father. They're just sitting there in the office, they're just texting, versus a parent that's really into it and wants to know what the hell. But you have some parents, the dad just may be the ride, and he's the reason they're there. But I mean, it could be the mom, it could be the dad, it could be just somebody just uninterested. So they really have no motivation. So again, there's a continuum within the intrinsic motivation, or and there's external stimulus from different places, from outside of the person. So I use myself as a example. So okay, and then actually also I'll discuss these terms in a minute. Controlled motivation, autonomous motivation. This is just kind of a summary, another portion to the continuum under extrinsic motivation. So this is me at work, goofing off, obviously, because that's very rare. I don't very rarely don't do that. Anyway, so external regulation, again, external stressors, gifts, penalties, payments, or that parent that only wants help with formula. That's the only reason they are coming. Um, it's not that I don't like my job. I love my job, but it's good that they pay me because I probably would just be on the beach, or I'd probably just be rather farming or being in the garden. So I just say that, work for anyone. If it's not like your own business, you're going to be externally regulated. And then we have introjected regulation, somewhat external. Shame, compliments, like, again, so this is me looking cute, walking around. I think I was in the National Mall. This is in front of the Martin Luther King monument. But I look nice that day. And that's why sometimes I like to dress up and look nice. Not necessarily to please everyone, but I like compliments. I want to be appropriate for work. I mean, some days I want to wear jeans, but obviously I can't, unless it's the jean dress down day. But I like likes, I like compliments, so that it's motivated. Um, I'm motivated to look good. And like I said, I do like compliments. So I don't know who doesn't. Um, And then the example of our WIC person is like breastfeeding to satisfy family, um, or not breastfeeding to satisfy family, or somebody that feels like you don't make enough milk or whatever. But breastfeeding to satisfy the family is controlled. Again, all these are, you're being controlled by money or payment penalty. You're being controlled by the likes, or some people, they talk about Instagram. You do it for the likes. We never really know that. So the two parts of the extrinsic motivation is controlled motivation, autonomous. Autonomous meaning almost like automatic. So this is more controlled, and then it's more automatic or intrinsic. Excuse me. And then we have identified regulation, somewhat internal, respectable, objective, worthy, destination. For me, eating healthy, sometimes it's identified regulation. And yes, I'm a nutritionist, but I do have Crohn's disease, and eating healthy can help me feel better and help keep my symptoms under control. So it's the worthy, it's respect. My objective of eating healthy and trying to increase my omega-3s is to stay healthy. And then for back to the participants, eating iron-rich WIC foods to increase hemoglobin levels. Um, it's like, because no one wants their iron to be low. We tell the moms, hey, your child's iron is low. You need to eat more grits or more spinach. If the doctor recommends a supplement, you take that. So we're eating those foods to increase our iron, or I'm eating those foods to decrease my inflammation. But it's respectable. Why are you doing that? Why are you exercising? Why are you doing the things that you do? Because I have a goal in mind. And then integrated regulation is internal. Um, it's worth it's found within. And then you have, in other words, just within. So me, I dance, and I am a dancer. It's not my total passion, but it's still within me. It's part of me. It's if you play music, I'm just gonna dance. Um, um, so that's the way I feel about belly dancing. Or like a mom that says, I am a breastfeeding mother. That is her identity. Um, that's who she is. And for me, when I was younger, my breastfeeding uh, motivation may have been a little more controlled, because I was just doing it because I had read it was a good thing to do. Um, and, I was like, I'll be an awesome mom if I'm breastfeeding. But as I've got to do more of it and I enjoyed it and I saw the benefits and just connected with my child, I became a breastfeeding mother. So controlled motivation, the continuum all the way to autonomous motivation. And now intrinsic motivation. or internal. I love to bake. As you guys know, I bring lots of muffins. This time I'll be bringing some soon because it is fall. So sweet potato muffins, baking, that's one of my passions. I love to do that. I love to bake. And I would love to have a bake shop where I just bake for free and, and just didn't have to, charge anybody for anything because I love just baking. So it's like I just my passions. No payment required. Um, and it's just for the experience. I just love to learn about baking, get better at baking. And also people and nutrition are my passion. So when I'm in there talking to someone or giving them nutrition, I have to be careful because I do love to talk and I do love to uh, I just love people and I love kids. So I have to watch my time. I do have to watch my time. I apologize. That is my cat in the background. So I do apologize. I mean, I do have to watch my time. I do have to watch my time every day because I just I enjoy doing those appointments and being happy and talking to people. And it's a great experience. And again, that's on the part of autonomous motivation. In other words, just, it's automatic. All right, so then the third portion of the theory is basic needs theory for 3 psychosocial needs. And this theory basically says that well-being and human needs are brought on by relatedness, competence, and autonomy. Relatedness meaning, you want to belong, competence meaning you know how to do something, and autonomy meaning you have the freedom to do it. So that sounds like a happy life to me. I've got come to common with people. I'm good at something. I have a passion, or because I'm just good at something, or I have a skill, and I have freedom. So relatedness. People want to belong and feel connection, but what can hinder that is like in the office. Let's say in our office, we want to belong, and we do have a very cohesive office. So we do feel like we belong. We do feel like we connect. Um, but if there's a excessive competitiveness, like if our boss was, so and so does this, and you should be like so and so, you should be like Doris, you should be like Sandra, maybe somebody else would be like, ugh, I don't care, or I work in an office of mostly Hispanic women, but they don't click up, saying it's not like I feel like an outsider. They're very friendly. I don't feel like, oh, I can't be their friends. I still feel, very family oriented in my office. And then confidence. Again, just skill. Everybody wants to have a skill. Everybody wants to have worth. Or everybody wants to feel like they matter or feel like um, I can do it. And so the job is not too hard. The job is not too easy. It can be challenging some days when we get a lot of people backed up or we've got issues. Um, Moderate challenges, praises, praise. I like that. We all like that. Um, but if our boss gives us unattainable goals, we need to see 500 people a day. That's not going to make us feel confident. That's not going to make us feel happy. And unconstructive criticism also gets in the way of that confidence because it's like it needs to be. It just needs to make sense to the person. If you are, you can take constructive criticism and understand, okay, well, I'm doing this, but you just need to do this a little bit more. That's better than you just doing it all wrong. So again, relatedness, competence, and autonomy. Again, independence, freedom. Our boss is really good at not micromanaging. Um, only time we really get something reprimands if we do something wrong. But it's we have the freedom to kind of do the appointments the way we want. We have the freedom to do what works best for us, and that's what helps the flow of the clinic. That's what helps us all be happy, and it helps maintain a happiness, throughout the staff. So then also, if she gave us a bunch of deadlines and ultimatums, if you don't see 500 people by the end of the day, you're fired. That's not going to make anybody happy or feel autonomous. It's like, okay, well, I'll try, but that's going to make people fearful, or it's just not conducive to happiness in the workplace. So all these three of these things we need: relatedness, competence, autonomy for well-being, and kind of like a happiness. So if we want to feel happy and if we want our participants to feel happy, we need to give them this as well. And so how will this work in our clinic? So I call this just the chain of motivation, because this is our why. The babies, obviously, we got moms, we got kids, but the babies are the greatest. So how do we help them and satisfy them, or the parents? How do we keep everyone happy? How do we do the best that we can to make WIC the best it can be? So first, it's going to start with our manager. So that chain, she's the first, she's the top. It's like, it's from the top down. So the first person, we got the manager, and then we have the nutritionists, and nutrition assistants, and the breastfeeding peer counselors. And then we have our two support people. So how do they motivate? What is this top down phenomenon, and how does that work? So like I said, we have the manager at the top. She sets the tone, the team atmosphere, by not being partial, not promoting the cliques, to keep all the relatedness going, realistic goals, to keep us feeling confident, constructive criticism, again, helping us be confident, no micromanaging, and being empathetic to our issues, because we're women, we have families, we have lives, and being empathetic, and unexpected rewards. So again, it goes back to that where it talked about undermining effect. So if I say, if you see 10 people today, I'm going to get you a $5 gift card. Are you doing it because you want to see people, or are you doing it because you want the gift card? So again, we do get rewards every time it's somebody's birthday, or sometimes she just likes to take care of us. But hey, you guys want something to eat, or but it's not because we don't get rewards because um, we're not getting rewards because it's not a reward. I guess it's just a thank you. It's appreciation versus a reward. And then the nutritionists, assistants, and breastfeeding peer counselors show respect to the participant and to each other, create rapport with the participants, praise them, help them, give them attainable goals. Not like, you're going to breastfeed this baby, whether you like it or not, and you're going to make a gallon of milk every day. That's not that could be an attainable goal, but you want to be like, oh, we want to do pump 2 ounces of milk every time you pump, or you want to things that make sense. and little wins, attainable goals are small wins, and they motivate people to go further. And a form of services, because there's a lot of things again that people don't know that we do. We definitely give formally, we definitely give food, but some people may not know about the breastfeeding. Some people may not know about the referrals. Some people may not know about the nutrition education. Some people may not know about um, a lot of the other things that we do, breast pumps, um, the little gifts for the kids. There's a lot of things that WIC does. So if we are doing our job and giving the participants all the information and taking that time, then they're going to be more likely to stay or be there just again because they want to, not just because I'm here for formula, I'm here for the milk. And again, freedom, not obligation. You have to breastfeed. No, we support you if you breastfeed only. We support if you're breastfeeding mostly, if you're breastfeeding some, or if you're not breastfeeding at all. We're here as a respect and it's your freedom, and we don't want to make you feel like you have to do something, um, because then somebody's motivated. It's like, oh, I don't want to come to WIC. They only want me to breastfeed. So again, freedom, freedom, freedom. Then the support team, those are the ones that come in contact a lot of times with the participants first, especially if you're answering the phone in a reception manner. So, hey, I want to enroll in WIC, or what can you tell me about WIC? If somebody's like, well, somebody has an attitude when they answer the phone, then the person may not want to enroll in WIC, or be like, oh God, they had an attitude, and I didn't feel comfortable going there. I don't feel comfortable with this front desk person. They were rude. So we want to make sure that we're giving our moms, um, making them feel welcome, making the application easy. We're giving them choices. Again, yeah, you can breastfeed, you can formula feed, and explaining what they need to bring. You need to bring such and such ID. You need to bring, does your ID have your current address, Medicaid card, all the things that they need to bring to the appointment so they understand. And they don't feel like when you get there, you're like, well, where's your ID? Why don't you have an ID? We want to inform them before they get there, and give them expectations. So it's not a surprise. Um, so again, chain of motivation, it's kind of a top-down thing. Manager um, just sets the atmosphere. Nutritionists show respect and praise to the participants, and then the support as the front line of defense for our WIC participants. And how can we, as a team, grow? And the exercise that I would want to do to help us grow is motivation. So motivation through an exercise of empathy and role play. So, all the world's a stage, yada, yada, yada. I think we had to learn it in high school or something, Shakespeare. But we are all actors sometimes, not to say that we're, we don't, again, not to say that we want to be here, but sometimes you gotta, sometimes you have to humble yourself, help the participant, um, make them feel welcome, even though maybe you're tired or whatever. So motivation through an exercise of empathy and role play. So WIC clinic random role play. So a lot of times, when we have our days where we take a half day and we do staff improvement, staff motivation, wellness day. This will be potentially something we could do on that day. So the exercise is, again, WIC clinic random role play. The setting is the clinic. And so we're going to have a few different roles. So the goal of this is to understand what everyone goes through. So put yourself in the manager's shoes. Put yourself in the nutritionist shoes. Put yourself in the support person, and so on and so forth. And also, we got the 7 participants, and we got lots of issues that they could be dealing with. For instance, lost card. People lose their cards all the time. But it's kind of, frustrating if you have lost your card maybe a couple times and somebody comes to you and they got a little disdain. You lost your card again. Um, but maybe they got a lot going on. Maybe they got a lot of issues. Somebody stole their wallet. But again, we want to, if I put myself in that person's shoes, I'm going to understand when it happens when it happens again. Special formulas. We have, if a child has GERD, gastroesophageal reflux, they're premature, they need special formulas. Or we could be a mom with a baby, an 11-month-old and a 3-year-old. That's a lot. That's an appointment, because 3-year-old wants to get on the desk. The 3-year-old, doesn't want to get a finger stick. The 3-year-old doesn't want to get weighed. And you have an 11-month-old who's, still needs to be held, may not be walking. So this, for a mom, they just need your understanding. They don't need you to be like, oh my gosh, you have all these kids and it's just a lot. Again, you just want it's understanding. Breastfeeding pain, card not working, authorized foods, new to WIC, pregnant with a 2-year-old, 1-year-old wants formula, wants only formula and milk, and then support person. Maybe they got 20 calls in the queue and somebody's just waiting. Like imagine you're a participant and you're 20 calls in front of you. That's frustrating. So again, it's just this whole exercise is for everyone to understand everyone else's roles. And so with this role play, I'm going to be able to understand the support person's workload on, and the nutrition assistants are going to understand my workload, because a lot of our jobs again overlap, but I counsel people. They give me people to counsel, so they may see more participants, but I'm going to do more counseling. And so we want to increase the departmental empathy, again, understanding workload. Hey, do you have a moment? No, I don't, not right now, but come back. Or and not feeling like, oh, she didn't want to do what I asked her to do. No, just give me a moment. I can take care of it, just not right now. So empathy and relatedness, again, that team cohesion and organizational awareness, being aware of how everything is run, being aware of what your boss goes through, being aware of what everyone else goes through. And this will lead to client-centered staff. Because if you understand what everyone's going through, you have a nice cohesive team. And then as long as the team understands what our participants are going through, then there's more client-centered. It's more of a service and support based. And you have more empathy for the participants. And then this should bring you to the autonomous motivation, or helps them. It's going to help our participants be more autonomous with the motivation, because once they feel, related, once they feel, confident that, WIC, I love coming to WIC. They make me feel like a good mom. They help me with my breastfeeding. And I have the freedom to breastfeed them. If I don't, I feel happy here. So I want to be here. My motivation, I am motivated to be here. And then that motivation, autonomous motivation, internal, which is internal, goes to more intrinsic motivation. I mean, a mom may not necessarily be like, WIC is my passion, I just want to be here. And, that'd be weird, but that's the way we want to go. Just more and more autonomous motivation, closer to as intrinsic as possible. So role play, understanding workload, increasing departmental organizational awareness, more client-centered staff, just all the way over. So just more external to internal, more external to internal. So the conclusion is that self-determination theory is the key to a more connected WIC unit. And it will also lead to a more client-centered agency. As I was reading a lot of the literature on motivation, again, that's why I put myself in there because I saw a lot of myself, um, and the things that motivate me, uh, and it just helps understand, why we do what we do. What do we need to be a better manager? What do we need to be a better staff person? What do we need? So this goes back to those social needs. So that even though that's a big, even though there was a lot, even though it's three big theories all together, we are complex as humans. So our motivation, we are motivated by complex things, or maybe simple things, but we're all not we're complex, and our motivation comes from different places, and we all need different things. But the goal is to figure that out, and maybe we can make WIC better for our clients, and make WIC, Wheat and WIC, a better workplace for everyone. And so I'm going to end on a quote, and this quote is, excellence is never an accident. It is the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligence, direction, skillful execution, and the vision to see obstacles as opportunities. And so uh, this kind of just sums up WIC for us. We work hard. We have a lot of intention. We want to see as many people as possible. We want to help, and we're sincere about it. A lot of intelligent ladies, um, with direction, and we want to just take WIC as high as possible, and help as many people as possible. So we are an excellent. Um, we're definitely an excellent agency. We're definitely an excellent site, or clinic, but we can always be better, and we should always be thinking about our participants and how it can be the best agency clinic ever. Thank you, and good evening.